Well, that was certainly the outcome that everybody hoped for around here. Um, we didn't make it easy in spots, but then we came back, put a little pressure back on the meet, and it's tough to compete here. I mean, it's tough for us when we go other places. So Oklahoma, is certainly been the gold standard. So that they deserve a lot of credit for the consistency that they have performed. They've figured it out when nobody else can. They do it everywhere. And I know they weren't happy with some of their landings and the things that didn't go well for them tonight, but we all know we're going to see them at least one more time at SECs, and then probably, if everything goes well, we'll see them again later on neutral sites. So we may have poked the bear a little bit tonight, but but certainly I don't want us to get lulled to sleep that somehow that we can take these kinds of things for granted. It's a great night for us. We had to fight through some things on bars, and then really ratcheted it back up on balance beam, at least the first four, and then finally really put a fairly complete floor rotation together and looked a little more like ourselves. So we're still rounding into form in spots, and some people are still getting their legs under them, and we got plenty of places we can get better, but certainly a great night for our fans and for our team.
Is there an update on Chase? How's she doing?
We won't know for sure, but I don't think it's good. I think she probably is. I've been doing this a long time, and that didn't look good. So I don't want to stop short of giving you a diagnosis, but we'll get an MRI. We'll get some imaging done, and have more on that probably in the next couple days. It was a very emotional thing for us because Chase is very special, and she's loved by her teammates and her coaches, and she had finally really gotten herself in a good spot and was doing great things this year. So I know she's devastated. We all are for her, but as I've told our team in the past when we've had injuries, you honor your teammates with your actions, not with your emotions, and I think our team did that tonight.
Jay, right after the score was reviewed, after Sierra's beam routine, it just seemed like a very special moment between you and her and the entire team.
Yeah.
She talks about being that fire starter. Just
Yeah.
how impressed were you of her on both events tonight?
Well, she's tenacious, and you can see it. When she landed that kick over front, she kind of snarled, like, she knew she had one going, and that's the beam set we saw at the national championships last year, and she had been pressing a little bit. And I mentioned to you guys earlier, sometimes seniors will go through these little valleys a little bit where they're trying to be superhuman and do things that are so special all the time, and rather than let it come to them. And it was good to see her kind of turn that corner and really excel on both events that she did tonight. We changed her floor routine, but took it back down to a 2-pass and added different leap series, and that seemed to be a good decision too.
Just what did you make of that floor rotation? I know Kalia led off for the first time.
Well, very much, that was something that Courtney and I had been kind of bouncing around with. We've seen the struggle in the first spot a little bit this year, and we really wanted to get that settled down. And her makeup, personality-wise, and just the way she competes is very similar to Connor McLean. And Connor was in that spot for us last year, and it just settles everybody down. So it was something that we wanted to try and see how it looked. Again, I think it was a great decision because she's just so even-keeled and not really emotionally high or low ever, and she just went out there and executed a beautiful set to get us started, and that just settled everybody down. And I think in large part the reason we had probably our best floor rotation thus far, it was because of the way it started. We're always looking for that. You guys have heard me say fire starter, and it's kind of catching on. Everybody's using that word now when we talk about it, but you do look for, and sometimes you have to move some things around. you know, to see that. I don't, was it Rabelais that said something to me about moving people up and down the order like Jay Johnson or something like that? So I took the great philosopher Scott Rabelais' advice and moved some things around, and it worked. So thanks, Scott.
What allows Chio to have this kind of success so early in her career?
Man, I don't know. She's just got something there that when she's dialed in, she's a killer. I mean, she's just a killer, and you know, it's highly unusual to see that level of consistency from a freshman on all four events. You know, you see it in spots, but very, very unusual. And she made a few mistakes here, you know, earlier in the year, kind of in the midway point. But I just think she's settled back down and understands to let it come to her. And she's just got a great process. We talk about our hourglass all the time, how we get into routines. The routine being the sort of the narrow part of the hourglass, but the lead in mentally. What do you do? What is your process? What does that look like? And I just think she's got one that she knows works for her, and she seems to have mastered it. You know, anything can happen, but she's to this point she's been pretty special.
How proud of them were you that they weren't really scoreboard watching there through the middle of the meet and were able to kind of?
Well, I was, and it's something that we talked about ad nauseum for, you know, with that, to not do that. I'm not sure we didn't. I think there were spots where not scoreboard watching, but I think, you know, anytime you know you've done a really good routine, or a team knows somebody just did the best routine they've seen them do all year, and maybe the score doesn't necessarily reflect that. I think people begin to press because they think they have to do something just out of this world in order to get the big score. And so I think we did that a little bit on bars. I thought Lexi Zeiss did the best bar set that she's done by far to this point this year. And I think after that, some of the kids started pressing, trying to be perfect. And then, so after that event, you know, I just reminded them there are no distractions. We're not going to let scores or environment or anything. We've got to be better about that. And but I do think overall they did a great job. The energy was great. They stayed focused on what they needed to stay focused on, and it could have gotten away from us when Chase got hurt. You know, sometimes that can take the air out of your tires a little bit, and so I was just proud of the way they fought through the whole deal. Look, it's a dual meet. I mean, like I said that going in, it's fantastic. I think it gives us, you know, a psychological boost a little bit, you know, but at the end of the day, it doesn't. This meet's not going to determine a championship, you know, necessarily, and it certainly is a boost for our confidence. But again, I go back to, and what I said to them is, we got to be able to go do it on the road. We haven't done that, and we're not going to be complete if we can't start doing it, no matter whose environment we're in. So I don't want to. I think they understand that, and they have gotten better on the road the last couple of times. But we've still got plenty of places to improve.
Who? I think I know, but who came in for Chase? She was supposed to do floor and vault, right? Who filled in for her? Was it Amari or? two different people?
Well, initially we were trying to decide whether Kalia would do both events. Her knee is tender. And so we were thinking, you know, either her or Amari might not do vault tonight, or potentially even Aaliyah. And then when Chase got hurt, that eliminated the options for us. And then Sierra went in Chase's spot on floor and knocked it out of the park. So.
Jay, bouncing off of Kalia Lincoln, first time in the leadoff on floor. 9.925, pretty good score for her, for anyone really. Just what did you see from her growth throughout this season?
Dude, she's like I said, her demeanor is a lot like Connor's, and she's so incredibly gifted physically. we're kind of holding her together with duct tape right now because, you know, she's, her knee bothers her, her shoulders are gonna need to be repaired, you know, after the season's over and, you know, but, her feet and her Achilles has been a lot better. She's not feeling that, anymore like she was when she got here. So we took so much time with her in the fall where we didn't push at all. But competitively, she's as good as it gets. Like we're just scratching the tip of the iceberg with her. And if we can get her body healthy in the off season after this year, and I think you'll just see exponential growth from her as we go forward. And she's such a neat kid. She's super quiet. Like you guys are never going to pull things out of her, I promise. So, but she's one of the most genuine, just really neat kids. She's humble. She wants to compete so bad and help her team, and that's why. Because a lot of other kids that were hurting with a rotator cuff issue would have mailed it in, and she's not. She's pushing.
Sierra had a great night tonight. I know you've talked about it before, but how important is it to have her and her energy, especially
That's 100%.
being
I
on the
mean,
floor?
yeah. I mean, that energy is. I told him before the meet. You know, I said this meet is not about another team. It's not about the hype train. It's not about the Super Bowl of gymnastics. You know, which somebody just put that out and was calling it all week. Is that what you called it? Well, I saw it on social media. I didn't see it for you. I didn't see it from you, so I apologize if I'm insulting your headline. But it was. But for me, it was about the personalities and the energy that each one of our kids had. We've got a diverse team in so many ways, and that includes their approach and their personalities and there's so many attributes that every one of them represent. And you know, tonight was about us taking the next step and coalescing and getting all that to gel and continuing to get better as a team. So Sierra's a big part of that. She's a big personality, and we've got others. It was great to have Alona back out there. She didn't compete, but she warmed up as the alternate on bars, and that kid's personality is huge for us because she's just having a blast as she's flipping. You know, that's what she wants. And Sierra's such a great competitor too. She's tenacious, as I said earlier, and I'm happy for her for sure. That was easy.